Laziness, Caesar the Goat. One summer, Cruz had his friend Caesar over for a week or so. Caesar lived deep in the heart of the city. He didn't have any brothers or sisters. As well, both of his parents had to work outside of the home. This left Caesar alone most of the time. He was often very bored, and he was always lazy. He had an excuse for everything. He had little or no responsibilities. On the other hand, life at Buster's farm was always busy. Between chores and playing, there was always something to do or to be done. "Hey, little Caesar, could you please come help me get some hay out of the loft? I don't think I'm big enough to lift hay." "It's not a whole bale, it's just a little flakes," explained Buster. "We need to put 'em in everyone's stalls for breakfast. I'll meet you over by the hay in a minute or so. Hooney's getting the grain, and little Cruz is filling up the water troughs. We'll be ready to eat soon." "It sure is early," yawned Caesar. "Y'all sure do get up early around here." "Well, like the old saying goes, early to bed, early to rise, makes one healthy, wealthy, and wise. Now go on, and I'll see you shortly." Caesar hadn't gone 20 feet before he was sidetracked by a butterfly fluttering by, and then by the fluffy clouds overhead. And once he had started imagining shapes within the clouds, the next thing you know, he had fallen asleep behind the barn. As the animals were gathering for breakfast, Buster asked, "Has anyone seen little Caesar? I'd ask him to help me get the hay flakes, and he hadn't shown up yet." Cruz put down the water pail and cheerfully volunteered. "I'll help you get the hay, Buster." "Well, thank you, little Cruz, but I'm worried about little Caesar. Something could happen. We better go look for him," Buster worriedly suggested. "I'm sure the boy is fine, just taking in the country sights and smells, all new to a city boy, you know. However, might I take this opportunity to say, we wouldn't have to be worried one bit if you would all reconsider my security fence proposal. Perhaps you don't all understand the concept quite clearly. Let me, oh boy, not again, Mr. P. We all said no, twice. We're not going through this with you again. Let's go look for little Caesar." Everyone looked everywhere. No Caesar. Hooney and Nerm checked the hay lofts. Buster checked with the ducks by the pond, and Mr. P, well, he thought it best if he just stay put, in case Caesar showed up. Still no Caesar. Everyone was beginning to get worried and scared. Hooty took to the sky for an aerial view. From his vantage point way up in the sky, he could see the entire farm. Circling around, looking down, he saw Caesar asleep behind the barn. "I see him! He's behind the barn!" directed Hooty from above. As the animals gathered around, Buster nudged sleeping Caesar with his cold nose. "Wake up!" Surprised and embarrassed, Caesar jumped up. "Is it time for breakfast?" he asked, all wide-eyed in embarrassment. "It's past time for breakfast. I asked you to come help me, and here you are asleep again." "I'm sorry. I'm not used to getting up so early." They accepted his excuse, and all went and enjoyed a good breakfast. Throughout the day, especially during chore time, Caesar was nowhere to be found, and always had some lame excuse for his whereabouts, generally sleeping somewhere. One day he disappeared for hours. He hadn't told anyone he was going off exploring alone, which they'd never allowed any of the younger animals of the farm to do. All of the animals were very worried that Caesar may have wandered off into the woods and gotten lost. Hooty was unable to see through the forest canopy from the air, so his wide-eyed aerial view was of no use. They broke into search parties, going in several directions to look for Caesar. After hours of searching, they all went back to the barn. No one had seen a trace of Caesar. It was getting dark, and the animals were worried sick. As they returned to the barn, there was Caesar, standing out in the field staring at the sky. "Where have y'all been? I was scared you left me." The animals were speechless, both relieved and angered at Caesar's disappearing, reappearing act. "Where have we been? Where in the heck have you been? We've looked everywhere for hours. Where were you?" Buster sternly demanded. "I'd gone swimming in the river." "Swimming in the river? Alone? Are you nuts or just plain crazy? Do you know how dangerous such a thing is?" But I swim in the city pool all the time. City pool? This is the woods, a river, not a pool with a lifeguard, a light, and a drain. There are undercurrents that could suck you underwater and carry you miles away. Alligators lurking in the shadows, snakes, all sorts of beasts waiting to prey on your naive attitude. In my day, such behavior would have been rewarded with a swift... Calm down, Mr. P. But, Little Caesar, we got to talk about your behavior. Even though you're a guest, you should be helping in the chores. You always seem to be getting out of helping anyone do anything. But y'all get it done without me. That's not the point. You should help, not just sit around watching others do all the work. Yes, such behavior, left unbridled, will result in you becoming a watcher of life, not a doer. This world has enough watchers. We need more doers in this world, Peabody said. He's right, Caesar. Watching others doesn't do anything to enrich your own life, and you'll never be successful at anything in life if all you do is daydream and sleep. Daydreaming is fine. The world's greatest ideas came from dreams, but hard work is required to make a dream become a reality. Being lazy perpetuates lazy. Being busy makes things happen, Hooty explained. Here, he's right. Watching others live their lives is like watching your own life go by, wasted, unnoticed. And this going off on your own must stop. If all you're going to be is a burden around here, I vote that you go back home. All of the stern words had made Caesar realize how he had been both acting selfish and lazy. He also could feel their concern for him within those stern words of correction. And so for the rest of his stay at the farm, Caesar helped with all of the chores. The more he helped and worked, the better he found that playtime felt. He had also found that being active actually gave him more energy. By the time his stay was over at the farm, Caesar had learned that being lazy produces nothing in your life. His newfound disciplines went on to help him in all aspects of his life when he returned home. He began helping around the house, cleaning, dusting, picking up, and washing the dishes while his parents were at work. His helping around the house helped create more time for his family to spend together once his parents got home from work. As well, learning to concentrate and finish the chores at hand had caused his grades in school to go way up. He had found that learning in itself can be exciting and fun, and that when you put your mind and your body in motion, great things can happen in your life.